Okay, here we are, part 3. It's January 20th, 2013, and we're talking about Hyundai Motor America. And you've seen some of the videos, heard some of the comments about Don Quimby, or from Don Quimby. You're going to hear some of his comments. He still works for Hyundai Motor America, or either LA Hyundai at LAX, that's Inglewood, California. He still works there. And he's the one who put out the chilling effect words, along with Francis Melodia, who's the service manager at LA Hyundai LAX. They stood with the police and they said, if you ever bring your car back here again, we'll call the police on you. These are what's known as chilling effect words, because they are making a threat to do something to keep you from exercising your rights. And by using government officials, the police are considered to be government officials, by using federally funded, state-funded government agency, the police department, to keep you from getting your car inspected, to keep you from exercising your public accommodation rights. Let's quote from that voice message. This was left August 15th at 3:40 p.m. by Donald Quimby at LAX Hyundai. And these comments, if they haven't been forwarded to Hyundai, they are being forwarded to Hyundai. And if Hyundai is listening to this audio, they're going to hear them right now. But obviously, they should be aware of what this dealer, this employee is saying. So I'm not going to make any excuses for why Hyundai America has or has not responded to these comments of Don Quimby. I can only assume, I can only conclude that this is the conduct and the practice of Hyundai Motor America. I can only conclude that it's directed at African Americans, because I don't have any other information that it isn't. If it's directed at other Americans, other car owners, I'm not aware of it. So I'm only going on the information that I have. It doesn't take away from if it is directed at other car owners who don't happen to be African American, because African Americans are in a protected class. If you don't know what that means, look it up. African Americans, because of discrimination laws, are entitled to greater protection. Now, there are other protected classes under the civil rights laws, but I'm speaking simply of African Americans for this particular story, that they are entitled to greater scrutiny if there is a claim of discrimination. So therefore, those in the public, the government, business who deal with African Americans, because of the civil rights law, should be aware that African Americans are entitled to this little extra protection. And it's something that a lot of people don't really understand. I mean, people may be aware of the civil rights laws, anti-discrimination laws, but may not be aware that they're in a protected class that's entitled to a little more protection than just the average person or situation. So let's quote a little bit from what Don Quimby said. And as I said, this information has been forwarded to different government officials. I'm not quite sure if Hyundai Motor America has all of it at this moment, but they should have all of it. And I'm certainly know about the situation, because they do know about the situation. Whether they know what Mr. Quimby said or did not say, that's up to Mr. Quimby to tell them. It's not up to me. So anyway, we'll quote from this a little bit. Mr. Quimby says at 3:40 p.m., this is a voicemail he left. He says, "We have consulted with Hyundai," and he's speaking of Hyundai Motor America. Quote, "We are completely within our rights not to service your vehicle," unquote. And he goes on to say that he read what he felt was a blog. He doesn't say that the blog was written by me or anybody that I know. He just says, "We read your blog," which doesn't give any identifying factors as to what blog he's talking about. But he's obviously engaged in an interference there, an obstruction, a violation of freedom of speech, by trying to say that the blog has something to do with, why he's denying service, which it's my opinion. If it is a blog, it's my opinion. Okay, So it would be anybody's opinion. Anybody is entitled to have an opinion and entitled to freedom of speech. He says the claims you have made, and he's talking about the claims about the vehicle not running properly. He says, because the claims you have made, it is not in your best interest or our best interest to continue to do business with each other, unquote. Let's see. He says, quote, we suggest you take the vehicle back to the selling dealer. I'm not going to say their name right now. And, quote, please don't make another appointment for Saturday because we will cancel any appointments we see come under your name, unquote. Quote, we have already verified with Hyundai that we don't need to accept any clients. I heard your allegations of race. Neither Francis Melodia, service manager, nor I have ever met you, and so we have no idea what your race is until you told us, unquote. Obviously a little contradiction there. You're saying you don't know the person's race, and you're saying you do know the person's race, and then you're still continuing to deny the person's service. So obviously it's based on race. Quote, please don't come to buy a car or do any other type of shopping here because it is not in our best interest to do business with you anymore, unquote. For servicing, it is probably best you go back to the selling dealer where you bought it, quote and unquote. Quote, we are under no obligation under Hyundai to service any vehicles for any customer that we are not able to satisfy. And it has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than our past history and our inability to meet your needs, unquote, quote unquote. My opinion is that this is just simply retaliation. Racial discrimination charges were made against this dealer and against Hyundai Motor America prior to this gentleman's comments. So I think the retaliation is obvious here. None of what Mr. Quimby says is in the warranty. And this has also been reported to the Better Business Bureau Autoline. The Better Business Bureau Autoline is funded by many car manufacturers. And it's no surprise that they will probably rule against you if you come before them, but it's no surprise because they are funded by the car manufacturers. So it's no neutrality there. But where does any of what Mr. Quimby is saying in the warranty? Because the warranty is what governs your vehicle and it governs your service to the vehicle. To me, if it doesn't say it in the warranty, then Mr. Quimby doesn't have any grounds to deny service. Okay, so this is part 3, and we're going to stop this here, and we're going to go to part 4. In part 4, we're going to talk about the warranty, so you can compare what Mr. Quimby is saying in his voicemail. And again, I didn't read the entire voicemail. I read sections of it, so there's other parts to it. But we're going to be talking about the handbook and the warranty information next, so you can compare that information. And when I quote from the warranty, you'll see that there's nothing in there about what Mr. Quimby is saying. So there's a bit of a contradiction here. Where's Mr. Quimby getting this from, being that he's working at a Hyundai dealership, and then the handbook is what's given to the public. So why is the public not being told what Mr. Quimby said? Before you go and buy your car at Hyundai or think about buying a car, shouldn't you know what Mr. Quimby is saying? Which what he is saying is, we're going to bring the police on you, we're threatened to lock you up, maybe even engage in some type of violence against you by using the police. This should be told to you before you decide to go down and buy a Hyundai.